Hi everyone, Jake Russell with Sutton Group Lakefront Realty. I have the pleasure today of having Eric Jewell here with Edge Blade Sharpening. Hey Eric, how you doing? Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, thanks for having me here, Jake. Sure. Edge Blade Sharpening is, well, it's kind of in the name. We sharpen pretty much anything with a blade. Our primary focus is kitchen knives, but we also do things like scissors, straight razors. We also do some woodworking tools, flat blade chisels, and also some hand planer blades. So we do a whole variety of things at Pure Edge. So but our main focus is try to make your cooking experience a little bit more enjoyable. So when you cut through that tomato, it just slices that much easier, or that carrot, you can get that really nice kind of really quick cutting action in the kitchen.
Amen. I hear that. How did you get started in this business?
Well, it's actually kind of funny. I've always loved cooking, and a colleague of mine, he got me into the whole world of really kind of fine, high-end Japanese chef knives. And that's kind of what really got me into this. I got this really nice knife, really high-end carbon steel knife, and I also wanted to learn how to take care of it. And so he kind of introduced me to the world of all the different sharpening stones, whetstones. You do everything by hand. And so that's what kind of really got me into this. And I really, really enjoyed the whole sharpening process. You're working with your hands. You can see the results that you're doing. You can take something that's completely dull and really make it into a very, very sharp instrument that is really going to be beneficial in the kitchen for you.
Wow. Well, that's great. What would differentiate you from another knife sharpener in town?
Sure. A lot of people sharpen their knives by themselves, but they typically use either a handheld device that they just take the knife and they'll run it through it. It's a series of diamond cutters that are in there that sharpen the blade. Or they'll just use some kind of grinder, or they just won't even sharpen their knives. They'll just let them, be as dull as they can be. What we do at Pure Edge that's different is we do everything by hand. And so we start out at a lower grit of a sharpening stone, and we'll progressively get higher and higher in the grit. So what happens is that in the first lower grit stone is we set the bevel. So depending on the type of steel that's in the knife, it depends on what angle it gets sharpened at. So on your Western steel knives, it's a little bit lower quality steel, so it can't take quite a sharp of an angle when it's being, or steep of an angle when it's being sharpened. So they typically get sharpened at about a 20-degree angle. And on the Japanese side, it's a much harder steel, which means they can take a much sharper edge. So they get sharpened at about a 15 to 12-degree angle. And we do all that by hand. So we progress through a series of stones, and starting at like a 500 grit, then going to 1,000 grit, 4,000, then 8,000. And what that process does is it refines the edge until it gets to be a mirror polished finish basically on the edge, which is super strong and resilient in the kitchen, but yet still gives you that very, very good performance that you're looking for.
Oh, that's incredible. That's more than I ever thought before.
Yeah, and it's the difference between hand sharpening versus actually using whetstones versus a hand one is that your edge is going to last longer, and it's a much higher quality finish on it, a higher quality precision angle that's on there, and it actually makes your edge last a lot longer. It doesn't wear out. Using the handheld ones really eats away at the steel of your knife, so it actually physically makes your knife get smaller quicker over time.
That's incredible. How do we get a hold of you?
Sure. We have our website, pureedge.net, and it goes through all of our services that are on there, all the things that we like to do, and there's also a contact page on there, so you can go ahead and they can use a contact form. There's a phone number on there that they can do, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And even in some cases, if they're close enough in Vernon, I can even do a pickup service at no charge. I'll come to your house and pick it up, and if it just works out, I can drop them off too. So we try to make it as easy as possible for people because, everybody has knives in their house and they're typically using them every day, so we don't want you to be out of your knife for an extended period of time. So the turnaround time is typically just a day. if I can get them during the day, I can get them back to the customer by by that same time the next day.
That's excellent. Well, thanks so much, Eric, for
Great.
coming in.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, take care.